what's up everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And we have a little bit of a different type of opening today. Today we have some Secret Lairs that we're going to crack open. And, I will say, like, for me, when Secret Lairs first became a thing, I was one of those that I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one of each, right? So I bought a copy of all the original, and then I got it on the second drop and then the third drop. And it didn't take me very long to figure out, like, oh, like, this isn't going to be like an event. They're going to produce Secret Lairs all the time. And after that, I was kind of out on them. So typically speaking, I usually only jump on a Secret Lair now if there is an IP involved, an intellectual property, right? So like Stranger Things, Street Fighters, Transformers to a lesser extent, because that is also Hasbro, and they can just do that whenever they want. Walking Dead, I got some of those. So normally, I only jump in on Secret Lairs now if there's, a really cool intellectual property involved. This is the first one in a while where I was like, no, I just really like, in one case, I really like the style of the cards. I just really wanted to have a set for myself. And then on the other one of these, financially, it felt like a little bit of a no-brainer. So we're going to explore both of those today. So I have one of each type, and then I have a foil and a non-foil. So we have now on VHS, foil and non-foil, and then we have Magic the Baseballing, a foil and a non-foil as well. And as you can tell by the playmat, very much in on the Magic the Baseballing. I love the style of cards here. Very, very cool. So as of the filming of this video, what I'd like to do is I like to wait about a month after the Secret Lair has dropped and after they've been delivered to see, how was the financial ramification? How much was, what was the cost of the Secret Lair to purchase? And if you take the singles and you were to part off and sell the singles now, about what would you be getting back? So that's another little exercise I like to do. So both of these came out at the beginning of September. I think they started being delivered on September 15th. So it's been a little over a month now. And let's open these up. And I want to talk about the product. I want to talk about what I like about them. Show off the cards. And we'll talk a little bit about, oh my, is that? Okay, so there is something interesting here. So let's see here. Is this this is the secret card, right? Is this the... Oh, that's just the divider. See, I really don't buy Secret Lairs anymore. I've only opened up one of the envelopes before. Okay, so here we go. So we've got the original 5 Planeswalkers, and these were the very first Planeswalkers. This is actually predating Mythics. I believe was in Lorwyn. So they didn't even have, I don't even think they had the Mythic rarity yet. But they have the original 5 Planeswalkers. You got Chandra, Garruk, Jace, Liliana, and good old Ajani. Okay. There is some really cool stuff in these, but I just love the style of card as well. So we start off with a Johnny Goldmane, and I love the baseball start. It's like very old, very 80s style baseball card. It reminds me of a Topps card. And what I enjoy about these is not only just the front, the art style on the front, but the actual back. It looks like, again, like a Topps baseball card where it's like you have the stats of the player. And in this case, it has actually the rules text for the Planeswalker as well. Very, very cool. I think the base copy of Johnny's is like, probably like $5 or $6. Actually holding a value a little bit better than I thought it would a month after release. Really neat. Next up, we have Jace. So same thing. Again, love the art style. This one really speaks to me. I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a big sports fan in general, in addition to being, a Magic person. But I would always say, like, baseball was kind of like my first love in life. I grew up watching baseball. I played baseball, and I collected baseball and football cards long before Magic. So now Magic is my primary hobby. I still watch baseball, but I haven't been a sports card collector in years. So when I saw this art style, I was like, man, this brings me back. This makes me feel like I'm like a kid again looking at these cards. It was really crazy. So I knew that these weren't going to be the most valuable because, the Planeswalkers, as far as the playability is concerned, they've long been since power crept as far as, the playability of these cards. But I still had to get in and at least buy a copy or so of the actual Secret Lair to enjoy and to hang on to. So there's the back of the Jace. I actually think Jace is still about a $5.50 card for the normal copy, the non-foil copy. And then we have Liliana, beautiful Liliana there. Liliana is, I think it's probably just, I don't know if it's just namesake or she actually still has some playability, but the non-foil version is still like a $9 or $10 card as well. It's kind of the most valuable. It's easily the most valuable of the core Planeswalkers. And there's the back of the Liliana there. So $9 there. So like I said, I think Johnny was like 4 or 5. I think Jace was about 5. I think Liliana's about 9. And then not last, excuse me, because there's 5 Planeswalkers. We have Chandra. I love the art on that. Fiery as always. And you have your Chandra card. Very cool. I think Chandra is right around $5 or $6 as well. I think the non-foil copy, actually, for her, it might be more expensive than the foil copy right now, which is kind of weird. And then you have Garrick. So Garrick is, actually, I think Garrick's actually still kind of a playable card. Behind this is going to be the bonus card. What is this? It is a Root Sliver. All right, so we got slivers. Spells, oh, this spell can't be countered and sliver spells can't be countered. All right, that's actually kind of a decent sliver. That's neat. That's pretty cool. So let me show you the back of Garrick here real quick. Very nice. So when I did, prior to the opening, the value of it, the non-foil Planeswalkers, I think it was $29.99, plus tax. And when I added up the value on the non-foils, it was just about $31. So after tax and whatnot, you're probably still down a little bit. But if you enjoy the cards, you're still basically breaking even on it. And that's actually not counting the bonus card as well. So I don't know what the Root Sliver goes for. So honestly, a month after the purchase, it's probably still at least a break even, if not even being up a tiny bit. Pretty neat. There is something that's really interesting about the foil versions, and I assume that they're extremely rare, but the bonus card is an autographed, an autographed Planeswalker. Again, I think that they're very rare. I don't know who signed them, because it clearly, did Liliana, was she available to sign her own card? Was Garrick available to sign his own card? I don't know. Let's take a look at the foil versions. Oh no, I wrecked it. There we go. All right. So we have our divider there. All right, so we got our foil copies. Really neat. And if there was a foil version of the autograph card, they are really pricey. I happen to be scouting them a little bit, and I'm trying to open this without giving away. I don't want to give away the back of in case it's something super neat. I don't know another way around it here. Hold on. I think I got it. Oh, terrible. There we go. Phew. If there should be an autographed Planeswalker card in the back, they're all pretty pricey. So that would be a super neat bonus card, although, again, I think the odds are pretty slim. So there's the foil version of the Ajani. Really, really sweet. I think the foil version is right around $6 or $7. Right around $7 or so. And actually, the foil back on that also looks pretty clean as well. Really, really nice. So there's the foil Ajani. Then we have a foil Jace. I think foil Jace is right about $5.50 for, it's about the same price as the non-foil. Still pretty sweet looking. I actually really enjoy how good the back looks in the foiling. I was a little bit curious as to if they were gonna be able to pull that off, and it does look really clean. Foil Lily, can't be mad about that. Amazing, just amazing. It really. I really enjoy this. I knew that these weren't going to be super powerful because, again, the Planeswalkers have long since been power crept for what they do. But I can't dismiss the fact that the art on these is absolutely amazing, and it personally spoke to me. So I had to pick up some copies. Beautiful Chandra. And then last we have Garrick. And what is our bonus card underneath? It is another Root Sliver. Sure. So I wasn't sure what that would look like. I have no idea if Root Sliver's any good, but making slivers uncounterable seems decent at the very least. So that was Magic the Baseballing. Really, really awesome. Enjoying these. Again, I know they're not going to be for everyone, but they personally spoke to me. So really, really nice. The foil version, so the non-foil Secret Lair was $29.99. The foil version, I think, was $39.99. And then when I did some math beforehand and I kind of looked up the price of the singles, again, not counting in the bonus card, the Root Sliver, which I have no idea what that goes for offhand, the foil version added up was about $35. So it is, the bonus on the foil version is, or the multiplier, if you will, is basically insignificant or inconsequential versus the non-foil version. I think, actually, when it comes to Secret Lairs, a lot of people prefer the non-foil versions now because they don't bend, and the reputation of the foil stuff in Secret Lairs is pretty not great when it comes to foiling. So the non-foil, or excuse me, the foil singles all added up together was about $35, $36. So definitely not a moneymaker. Now, this one was a for me, right? Whereas on the other one, the now on VHS, there's, again, I bought a foil and a non-foil. This was a no-brainer financially. And so one of the cards in here is the first sliver, which might not have been, too big of a deal. But when Commander Masters came out and they had a sliver deck, and not reprinted in the sliver deck was the first sliver, or within the Commander Masters set, the first sliver, which was originally in Modern Horizons 1, was reprinted slightly in Modern Horizons 2 collector packs, but hadn't been reprinted since then. It shot up to like $50 for the regular copy. And then shortly thereafter, the now on VHS Secret Lair came out, which also features the first sliver in it, and that card shot up to close to $40 or $50 as well. It's back down significantly, but it essentially pays for the Secret Lair. The non-foil version, and I'm going to get to these here in a second. So this is a Secret Lair that only has, I say only, but it has 4 cards in it plus the bonus card, which I'm just going to guess that we're getting slivers. So this is very much like a old video store, like a 90s, early 2000s video store where everything was still on VHS. And we had to rewind tapes, and it's really funny. They nailed it with the art. So here's Rewind as a card. It's a card we've seen before. Does see some play, maybe a little bit of Commander play. The base copy, the non-foil version of Rewind for this particular art style, I think it's about $3, so it's not nothing. And as you can see, it looks really, really clean. Looks great. After that, we have Food Chain, which is a reprint. Of course, it was reprinted in Double Masters 2022 fairly recently, and this looks very much like a creature horror movie kind of thing, or adventure movie. I don't know, like almost like this reminds me of Tremors, right? So you have, and I love the stickers on here. Encounter, the $3 for the special rental, and this particular version of Food Chain right now is probably about $14, which is actually one of the cheaper versions of Food Chain out there, because even the base copy from Double Masters 2022 I think is about $17, $18 right now. So Food Chain at $14 if you need a copy. I actually think this copy is very, very cool as well, and it's a cheaper version of what's out there. So really, really nice. Love the art on that. Next up, we have Rampant Growth. Now, Rampant Growth has obviously been reprinted a million times. It doesn't carry any substantial financial value, except for this particular copy is, for the non-foil version, still holding at around $4, because Rampant Growth sees a ton of play. Yes, it's been reprinted a million times, but if you wanted a really cool version for one of your Commander decks, this is it. Especially, love the plants growing out of control. Love the artwork on it. And definitely love just, again, very classic movie store vibes there. They absolutely nailed it with that. So you have a Rampant Growth that is about $4 right now. And as I mentioned, next up, we have the first sliver, which this to me looks very very alien-like, right? This reminds me of is the movie Alien, with it kind of emerging from the egg. And as I mentioned, the history with this particular card, first of all, nailed it with the artwork yet again. And as I mentioned, it was a pre-con deck that featured slivers that did not have the first sliver reprinted. So even as of the filming of this video, a full month plus after the release of this Secret Lair, the non-foil version of this card is $29.50, or let's just round up and call it $30. The non-foil version of the Secret Lair was $29.99. So this card by itself pays for the Secret Lair. And then you've got a $4 Rampant Growth, you've got a $3 Rewind, and you've got like a $14, $15 Food Chain in there. So this was a Secret Lair where I was like, listen, this is a no-brainer financial. It will pay for itself. Whether I keep one of these cards, sell the rest, and basically recoup the rest, I do have, actually bought a copy of that sliver deck, so now I have a Commander and I have a cool version for it as well. And we have a Magma Sliver as our bonus card in there. All slivers have target creature. Sure. Okay, interesting. Yeah, whatever. I don't think it's anything to write home there. I'm not gonna scoff at a bonus card in there, because that wasn't even the reason I picked up the Secret Lair to begin with. But as I mentioned, 30 plus, we'll call it 14, so 44, 48. We have essentially a $50, $51 Secret Lair that was $30 plus tax. Pretty good, not even counting the Magma Sliver in there. All right, and now we have a foil version of all that. Let's check these out. Come on. There we go. All right, so there is the foil Rewind. Beautiful. The foil version of Rewind for this particular version is about $4, so a slight multiplier, but you know, not like a huge increase. Still, it looks good. It holds up pretty well. There is a little slight curling on this one. I didn't notice it on the Planeswalkers, and that's probably because it's double-sided with the foiling. These ones definitely have a little bit of a curl to them already. I can already tell that they will curl, especially as they're left out or exposed a little bit more. I'll sleeve them up all after the video, but definitely a curl already there in place. There is the foil food chain. Really enjoy that as well. Looks amazing. Love the light, you know, try and show it off in the lighting just to kind of show what it looks like. And the foil version of the food chain is running around $16, so you do get a little bit of an uptick in the value there. And yeah, beautiful card. Not that there's any, you know, we already know what these are at this point, right? And there's the foil version of the Rampant Growth. The foil version of this is actually just about $5. So, you know, decent little multiplier on the foil version. And yeah, people who like to foil out and do, you know, foil out their decks and do the borderless or special versions of stuff, I can see how they will absolutely want this. And then we have our foil version of our first sliver. Really, actually, what's funny is the uptick on the foil versions for the other three cards is substantially higher than the first sliver. The first sliver is probably just about $31 for the foil version, so basically like a $1 increase over the non-foil version, which is really funny to me because if you really want to bling out your commander and this is going to be the commander of your sliver deck, then go nuts because you don't have to worry about it curling in your deck because it's not part of the 99. So yeah, there we go. So there is the sliver. Let's see what our bonus card is. Is it another magma sliver? It sure is. Okay, why not? So looking at this, you know, the rewind was for the foil version was about $4. The food chain was about 16. The rampant growth was about 5, and the first sliver is just about 31. So the total of these was just about $55. The foil version of the Secret Lair was $39.99. The non-foil being $29.99. So yes, you're still getting, you know, listen, $40. You're still getting a slight profit, if you will, on the foil version, but it's much better actually value on the non-foil version. It's about $51 for about $56 here on $29.99 versus $39.99. Nevertheless, to me, when I saw this, I was like, well, that seems like a no-brainer. This thing is going to pay for itself and then some, so I can choose to keep one of the fancy versions, sell off the rest, and make it back, or maybe even sell them all off. I haven't decided yet. Going to hang on to at least one of the Magic the Baseballings. So yeah, this is me opening up a couple Secret Lairs. I rarely do it if it's not IP driven anymore, but I couldn't, the value here and the artwork both spoke to me, which rarely happens, and then I love the look of the Magic the Baseballing. So that's my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, hit the like button for me, and by all means, drop me some comments. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everyone, and be well.